Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we're going to be talking about some insights and some behind the scenes, if you will, with Obi Wan Kenobi as Ewan McGregor's reaction to one of the very important finale scenes to it, with a little bit of what he has to say here about this overall emotional scene to this overall emotional show. Of course, we're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video, we're going to be taking a read from the direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. As a read, Ewan McGregor burst into tears watching one Obi Wan Kenobi Disney Plus scene that is very emotional and important. According to Ewan McGregor himself, the actor got quite emotional while watching the finished Obi Wan Kenobi episodes. Last year's Star Wars Disney Plus series was one of the most highly anticipated projects of the franchise for some time. Fans had been begging for McGregor to return to the role for years, and now the time had finally arrived. At the end of the day, the reception to the project ended up being fairly mixed. While of course the world enjoyed some more Obi Wan Kenobi, some of the production seemed cheap and a few story beats fell flat for some. However, of course, it doesn't completely ruin this Disney Plus show. There of course were many different other aspects, such as the return of Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader, the Chosen One himself, and just having this overall project itself of having Ewan McGregor return to the franchise as well. Also getting to see some of those ruthless Vader Prime scenes on screen. Last time we saw that was in 2016 in Rogue One, well, at least for live action. However, the leading actor, Ewan McGregor, the show's story really hit his emotions hard. Ewan McGregor cried while watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think it's safe to say that a portion of us did the same thing. In a recent interview with Disney Studios Awards, Ewan McGregor, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi of course, talked about how emotional he got while watching his recent Disney Plus series for the first time. And according to the actor himself, he burst into tears when he saw the scene where Kenobi tells Vivian Blair's young Leia, "May the Force be with you," saying that in full quote, "When I saw episode 6 of Obi-Wan Kenobi for the first time, I got to see them down where we show in Manhattan Beach and had to go down there, and I went down there and I watched episodes 1, 2, 3. They literally shut me in a room on my own, and I was so impressed. But when I was sitting there and I watched episode 6, when I tell Vivian Blair's Leia, 'May the Force be with you' at the end, I burst into tears. I was sitting there. There's something so moving about that," ending the quote right there. And in all honesty, McGregor isn't alone in his emotional reaction to Obi-Wan Kenobi as an overall show. As I had mentioned, many of us probably cried the same way. I know I did. It was previously revealed in a press conference as well, as reported by Collider, that Liam Neeson cried during his rehearsal and returning to Qui-Gon Jinn after so many years. And according to Neeson, both he and Ewan McGregor started crying as they rehearsed their reunion scene together. As Liam Neeson had said in that full quote right there, "It was Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan on a camel, a real camel, and me. We rehearsed it before we shot it and just started crying. And it was lovely. That Star Wars that we did, The Phantom Menace, we shot it over 25 years ago. It came out in 1999 when CGI was in its infancy. That's why it took so long for it to come out. It was lovely to do. It was great to do," ending that quote right there. This here all being said, the director's article goes on to say that more cry-worthy scenes for Obi-Wan on the way is a potential as a question mark. For many, crying was probably a common occurrence while watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. As I had mentioned, I know I bawled like a baby. And I think it's safe to say that there's a portion of you out there as well that probably did the exact same thing, especially for most of us growing up with these characters in the prequels, the early 2000s. It was just a time to be alive, really. And on top of that, these were our heroes for Star Wars overall. I mean, me being like a young little 7-year-old, 6-year-old, I was obsessed with Star Wars, and I want to say that there was even a year that I dressed up as Obi-Wan Kenobi one year for Halloween, because he was my hero. So of course, naturally, to see these characters return to, I guess, well, the small screen for this instance was such a heartwarming, I think, part for us Star Wars fans. And as the rest of the article continues to read, that seeing Ewan McGregor on screen for the first time in so long was an emotional experience, one accented by moments such as his fight with Vader or meeting Luke Skywalker for the first time seen in the show. However, the question remains that can fans look forward to any more with this iconic character? McGregor himself hopes that he and Hayden Christensen get the chance to do it again for a season 2, and this is something that we recently just talked about here on the channel, as Ewan McGregor has not just this one time, but multiple times in the past like 6 months at this point, ever since the Obi Wan Kenobi show had premiered and it was on Disney Plus, coming out with new episodes, and there was all this hype surrounding this overall show here, has once again kind of reunite those overall flames there, reignite them, I think is the word I'm looking for, essentially, for a potential Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. And yes, it is something furthermore that we have discussed here multiple times on the channel as well into those regards, and that everybody says, the cast and crew members have all said that they would love to return for a Obi-Wan Kenobi second season. And while of course he seems very hopeful about this actually potentially happening someday, as of now it doesn't look like there are any actual official confirmed real plans for a continuation in Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, despite previous rumors saying that otherwise. Now from there, that is where the article concludes, and as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have this article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. I would quickly like to discuss the potential of an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, because I've discussed it so many previous times here on the channel already. I want to discuss it a little bit more here. Right off the bat, I want to tell you guys that I have a video linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there, of where I kind of pretty much describe and explain all of my different reasons for why there needs to be an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, because of why Obi-Wan and Vader need to meet again before the events of A New Hope, simply really because of a throwaway line that Vader has in that sequence and before they actually duel in A New Hope. So go check that video out, it's linked in the description down below. I really don't think an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 would be anything like the season 1 that we've already had here, and of course Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1 on Disney Plus right now has always been described as a limited series. That's the way it was marketed and promoted and everything like that. And of course the writers and the director Deborah Chow is the only person that says that she doesn't want to return for an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. However, seeing that she's just simply a director, she's not a writer or a showrunner or really anything like that, so where she's the one that's really has this creative vision here for what she wants to do with this character specifically, she's simply just kind of pointing fingers and that type of thing. I think that she's easily replaceable. However, as I digress here, as I had mentioned, an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, I really don't think it would be anything like season 1. I think it would be way more laid back essentially, and it would set things up for a third season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the way that Joby Harold had explained this, and for those of you that don't know, he is the writer of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series for Disney Plus, is that if they were to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 and so forth and so on, it would for one thing automatically and kind of imply that there would be a third season. They would essentially be set up similarly to how a movie trilogy would be set up, because that's the way that this overall project had been originally planned out. An Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 wouldn't have as much action, I think, for one thing. It would deal with a lot of, I guess, more Force type of stuff, Force sensitivity, and really Obi-Wan Kenobi becoming more and more in touch with the Force, as we were to later see in A New Hope. He's able to automatically turn himself into a Force ghost because he's been learning these powers for such a long time here on Tatooine with his former master Qui-Gon Jinn. However, of course, while at the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1 it implies that that's kind of like what they do, they ride off into the sunset and they go learn more Force sensitivity abilities, how to become a Force ghost and everything like that. I think it would be very interesting to really imply that and really get to experience that. Also, while maybe having him fight off Sand People, something similar to how we see in the Book of Boba Fett, and also maybe having a subplot line in there for Commander Cody. Fingers crossed that he does make it out of the Bad Batch season 2, however. I'm gonna save this for a separate future video here on the channel, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified for when all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdown videos that we like to cover here on the channel are coming out. I would really like to get more in depth into this overall, I think, thing here of what I would like to see for Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 and even a third season at that there as well. However, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What would you want to see for an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 and even potential Obi-Wan Kenobi season 3? How emotional did you get for Obi-Wan Kenobi as an overall show here right now on Disney Plus? What scenes were really tearjerkers for you? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys, and may the Force be with you as always. Peace out.